joining us on ET now is Rituparna Chakraborty of Teamlease. Ms. Chakraborty, this is Ruchi, Bhatia. Thank you very much for taking your time out and speaking with us. We're seeing, we saw companies, in fact, in the last 1.5 years, abandoning office, fueling a very, very fierce work from home trend during the pandemic. But now with India in jab, like for example, we've been able to administer as many as 75 crore doses already within the country. Is hybrid routine really, the future that we're looking at as far as, work is concerned?
Thanks so much for having me on the show. I think, we still don't know where we are headed with this pandemic. There are a few things which have really gotten sorted out. I think every organization who possibly can build an infrastructure or equip themselves from a remote work has already done it. So I think the transactional capabilities of getting work done, more or less that expertise is in place, and it's an option now very well entrenched, and most organizations are using it. However, I think there is another problem. So even though that this infrastructure is in place and there's business continuity, organizations are at that juncture where they're actually seeing how the social capital that they've built over the years of teams working together has started to deplete. And at some point in certain job roles, they have the possibility and potential of affecting mental health, employee morale, and in the long run, in terms of the kind of creativity or the kind of innovation, transformation which is required in workplace can get hampered. So that's why I think most organizations are not ruling out the possibility of having those who can come to workplace, work which requires teamwork, work which requires that amount of investment in each other. I think they would like to welcome those people back to the workplaces. And hence, our hunch is that there will be a hybrid model adopted. So whenever any work needs to get done or whichever work can get done remotely, employers will offer that flexibility. However, they would be nudging employees who can come to workplaces to come back and spend some time with each other. So, however, I think it's very important also to realize that almost 88% to 90% of the overall work that gets done in this country cannot be done remotely. These are frontline work, these are done on the ground, and hence that's a separate issue, and hence we should look at that distinctly from the hybrid workplace issue.
Right. Absolutely, absolutely. Having said that, I want to understand from you, at least let's talk about the sectors where a hybrid model can work. I remember in an interview with ET Now, Sanjeev Mehta of HUL about 6 to 8 months ago did say that it's too early to write the obituary for work from office just yet. But now we are seeing employees getting more accustomed to working from home. You have various facilities that the employees have also kind of invested in to ensure that work from home is easily possible and doable. So how do you see the balancing act really take place, at least for sectors where a hybrid model can be achieved?
I would definitely lean on Sanjeev's point of view. I think it's too premature because there is more to workplaces than the infrastructure that is made available to us. I think we cannot ignore the human element anymore. The fact that showing up to workplaces is a very important element in their personal and professional development, the ability to mix and mingle with different kinds of people, different kinds of colleagues, different kinds of expertise, sometimes cross-cultural exposure, sometimes work travels. I think we cannot rule out the upsides of all of that. So that's why I'm saying, while right now the organizations have opened themselves up to the possibility of day-to-day productive work not getting hampered if you do it from home. However, I don't think we have arrived at the conclusive position that it is conducive to maintaining the health per se. And when I say health of the organizations, the motivation, the upbeat mood of individuals that come to the workplace. And hence, I do believe that every organization will keep their options open. And they will ensure that workplaces are not completely made redundant. So you do not do away with all your offices. And I think there are some interesting models also which are emerging in terms of how they might actually go ahead and diversify the investments in real estate towards the kind of offices they build in future.
Rituparna, I was just about to actually ask you then, what type of technologies, solutions do you foresee that organizations should invest in to ensure that a hybrid work model is more successful then?
You will see highest level of cybersecurity investments. I think that would be the top notch in terms of every CEO's agenda, because it's going to be an optionality that has to be created for workplaces. Everyone obviously will move to a cloud environment. So while sometimes we think that cloud is given, there are many organizations who are yet to move from an on-premise to a cloud model. So you will see more and more people moving to that. There'll be a lot more investments being made in terms of ensuring digitalization of the entire workplace at every step, like starting from employee onboarding, in terms of monitoring their day-to-day activities, attendance, performance management, everything that you can think of to kind of manage the entire life cycle, claims processing, or whatever be it. You will see a much larger focus on ensuring that these capabilities are brought in place. Everything, whether it's your sales engine, whether it's digitally enabled or not, whether it's your marketing engine digitally enabled or not, there'll be a lot more work happening around data sciences. So yes, definitely. And if you see how the technology world has evolved as one of the unintended beneficiaries of the pandemic, it's but obvious.
Before I let you go, Rituparna, this is going to be my last question. In various other countries, we're seeing as offices opening up, various companies putting in very, strict norms and regulations. For example, you have to get a test every week if you're coming into the office. So as India Inc. is getting up to speed with opening up, if employers do insist on return to a fully on-site work in view of perhaps a third wave, and given the fact that the pace of vaccination has now picked up, but it's still quite low, do you see any kind of risks of losing talent as well?
I think the entire world is embroiled in this particular debate, which is happening all over the world at workplaces. Yes, I first and foremost, I do believe that employers would try and come out with policies to keep the majority of the employees safe at workplaces. Some of them will border on being extremely rigid and stringent. And just like any other policies that one can come up, because this is not something which is in the purview of any kind of labor laws, and hence it's not that you do not have the authority to come out with these policies. I personally feel that more than vaccination, flexibility offered towards working from remote work is what might affect your possibility of attracting or retaining talent. But I think the first one, which is around the strictness around vaccination, I do believe that more or less every employer are likely to bring that. So it's not that if one employer is being rigid, you have an optionality to move to someone else, because the way I look at it and the way it's panning out in corporate India as well, I think we see more and more companies being extremely rigid about it. Yes, if you're not offering the optionality of remote work, if it's a job that can be done, there is a possibility of losing talent to someone else.
Okay, all right. On that note, Rituparna, appreciate you taking your time out and speaking with us.